city, in your state. There have always been those names that made people shiver. Local mob bosses, street enforcers, the kind of who ruled their territories, even from behind bars. Think about it for a second. Every state has them. But then, one by one, they all vanished. And when they fell, their entire empire collapsed with them. Death and gone. Now, look at the other side. Look at the titans, the Rockefellers, the Bezoses, the Musks. These guys never pulled a trigger in public. They never sent threats to your door. Yet, every single year, their empires keep expanding. Both groups had power, but one group's power died with them, while the other group's power will outlive their bloodline. Why? What was the difference? Because their levels of power were worlds apart. Look, we're taught from childhood that power means money, or strength, or a fancy title. But that's only half the truth. The full truth is that power has 5 distinct levels, and 95% of people stay stuck at levels 1 and 2 their entire lives. The people at level 4 and 5, they're ruling the world in total silence, without ever raising a finger. Today, I'm going to tell you what they don't want you to know. Level 1, direct power. Raw force. The first level is direct power. Raw, unfiltered force. What does this mean? It means you'll get things done through your own sheer ability. If you're physically elite, you can lift what others can't. If you have cash in your pocket, you can buy what you want right now. If you have a skill, you can build it yourself. No permission needed. No approval required. Just you and your ability. It sounds intoxicating, right? Like that's all you'd ever need. Example. Think of the neighborhood tough guy. People cross the street when they see him coming. Nobody messes with him because they know he can end a fight in seconds. His power is his body, his physical intimidation. When he walks into a room, the atmosphere shifts, voices drop. I look down, or think of a 90s action star, someone like Stallone or Schwarzenegger. At their peak, they didn't need a script. Their presence alone was the power. Directors were intimidated. Co-stars walked on eggshells. Your presence is your power, the fatal flaw. But direct power has a massive weakness. It only works if you are there. It depends on you being fit, being strong, being present. Think about that neighborhood tough guy. What happens when he leaves town? Nothing. His power is trapped in his muscles. If his body isn't there, his power isn't there. If he's sleeping, his power is sleeping. If he eats, seek his power is seek. And when he gets old, itse. Over. This is exactly what happens to those street legends. As long as they were active, they rule it. But the moment they fell, their network vanished in a week. Why? Because direct power cannot be transferred. It's born with you, and it dies with you. It looks strong, but it's actually the weakest form of power, because it cannot survive your absence. But the other group, their power doesn't just survive. It thrives long after they're gone. What's the catch? It's because they aren't playing the same game. They operate on a completely different level of power. Say, we've been fed a lie since we were kids. They told us power is just about cash, or physical strength, or a fancy job title. But that's a half-truth, a distraction. The cold, hard reality is that there are 5 levels of power. 95% of the population spend their entire lives grinding away. Stuck at level 1 and 2. They never even see the ceiling. But the elite, the ones at level 4 and 5, they're ruling this world in total silence. No noise, no violence, just absolute control. Today, I'm going to reveal what the gatekeepers don't want you to know. Because those who understand this system want to keep it all to themselves. Listen closely. So, pay attention. Level 1 is direct power. It's raw, individual force. What does that actually mean? It means you have the ability to manifest results through your own hands, on your own terms. If you have the physical strength, you can move objects others can't even but. If you have liquid cash in your pocket, you can walk into any room and buy whatever you see, right then and there. If you have the skill, you can build it, fix it, or solve it yourself. No gatekeepers. No middleman. No seeking permission from a boss or approval from a board. It's just you and your raw ability. It sounds intoxicating, doesn't it? It feels like the ultimate freedom. Like this is the only thing you ever needed to conquer the world. You start to think, maybe this is it. This is the peak. Let me give you an example. Every neighborhood has that one geether enforcer, the kind of person people cross the street to avoid. Nobody messes with him because they know if he hits you, you aren't getting back up. What's his power? It's purely biological. It's his frame, his reach, his raw aggression. When he walks into a room, the oxygen leaves. People lower their voices. No one makes eye contact. That is direct power. Or think about the 1980s boxing scene with someone like Mike Tyson. Before he even threw a punch, the fight was already over. His walkout was enough. A man who had seen the inside of a cell, who moved in circles most people only see in movies. He didn't need a script or a hype man. His existence was the message. Directors, promoters, even other heavyweight champions, they weren't comfortable around him. They spoke carefully. Why? Because his presence was his power. But here's the trap. Direct power has a fatal flaw. A massive, glaring weakness that 95% of people ignore. It only works if you are physically there. It relies entirely on you being fit, being awake, and being strong. Think about neighborhood enforcer. What happens when he leaves his turf? Nothing. Ta-da. Nothing. His power is trapped inside his skin. If his body isn't in the room, his power isn't in the room. If he's sleeping, his power is sleeping. If he's sick, his power is bedridden. It gets hold. It gets hold. The power vanishes. He gets injured. The power is gone. This is the tragedy of every street legend and local mob boss. As long as they're standing, as long as their physical network is active, they rule. But the second they fall, the sharks start circling. Within a week, the people who called them boss are already looking for a new power center to serve. Their entire network collapses in days because direct power cannot be transferred. It's born with you, and it's buried with you. That's why direct power is an illusion. It looks terrifying, but it's actually fragile. It cannot survive your absence. To defeat someone with level 1 power, you don't even have to fight them, you just have to wait them out. Let them get tired. Let them get sick. Let them grow old. Then they are nothing. But now, imagine if there was a way to hold power without even being in the room. A way to make people obey you without you ever showing your face. Welcome to level 2, positional power. The power of the chair. In this level, the strength isn't inside your body. It's inside you. It's the authority of the office you hold. People don't listen to youth. Listen to the seat you're sitting in. Let me give you an example. Think of a police captain or a precinct commander. When he's on duty, he owns the city. When he's in that uniform, his voice makes the toughest criminals tremble. He can pull over any car, order an arrest, or launch an investigation with a single nod. Store owners offer him free coffee. Local thugs speak to him and even politicians play nice. One phone call from his desk, and a SWAT team is at your door. One bad mood, and someone spends the night in a cell. What is his power? Is it his muscles? No. It's the badge. It's the uniform. It's the government seal on his desk. But here is the cold reality. Suspend that precinct commander. Take away his badge. Now, look at him. He's the same man, has the same voice to somebody, but suddenly, no one is listening. The shop owner who used to give him free coffee now looks him dead in the eye and tells him to pay up. The criminals who used to walk on eggshells now laugh in his face. Why? Because the uniform is gone. The title was stripped away. The power was never in the man. It was in the fabric of the suit. Think back to your school days. Remember the principal when he walked down the hallway. The air got cold. Students froze. Teachers jumped to follow his orders. The entire institution moved at his whim. One glare from him could silence a gymnasium. Now, look at that same principal. 10 years later, he's retired, living on a pension, sitting on his porch. Who listens to him now? Sometimes, not even his own family. When he walks down the street, he's just another old man in a crowd. No one recognizes him. The students who once trembled at his name are now busy living their own lives, and they wouldn't even offer him a seat on the bus. The power was in the school walls. It was in the office. It was in the title. The man was just a temporary tenant. In psychology, this is called legitimate power. It's the power granted to you by an institution or a system. It means the power belongs to the organization, not the individual. You are just a placeholder, filling a vacuum. But here's the thing, level 2 is still a massive upgrade from level 1. In level 1, you're a lone wolf. If you get tired, the work stops. If you sleep, your power sleeps. But in level 2, you have leverage. You get things done through others. A police captain doesn't have to be on every street corner. His officers are there. A CEO doesn't code every line or ship every package. His team does. This power is multiplied. You step into an institution that already has prestige, a legacy, and a reputation. You just plug yourself into the socket, and the organization's power flows through you. But there's a catch. This power is fragile. Why? Because it's borrowed. It doesn't belong to you. The same department or corporation that gave you that desk can take it back tomorrow. Your boss can fire you. The board can replace you. The government can transfer you. And the moment that happens, you're back to zero. That's the trap of positional power. It feels solid. It feels official. But it's entirely dependent on the institution. You can be the most talented person in the world, but if the chair is taken away, the influence vanishes. So, the question is there a power that travels with you? A power that stays, even if you lose the job, the title, and the office? A power where people listen to you because they want to, not because they have to. Enter level 3. Relational Power. The power of connection. Peace isn't in your muscles, and it isn't in a throne. This power lives in the hearts of others. It's built on trust, loyalty, and history. At this level, people follow you because of who you are to them, not what your business card says. They know you. They trust you. They like you, or they depend on you. You don't need a position here. You don't need a uniform. People just listen to you on their own. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard these 4 words? Do you know someone? Tissy are the 4 words that run the world. Your project is stuck in a corporate office. Do you know someone there? You need a specialist at a top hospital. Do you know a doctor there? You're dealing with a legal mess. Do you know someone at the firm? You want a job. Do you know someone at that company? Go through the official channels. Your application will sit there for months. But if you know a director, a VP, or even a senior analyst, one phone call, and the deal is done. This is the power of relationships. In the US, we talk about merit and qualifications, but the truth is, networking works harder. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you don't have the right connections, you stay in line. Meanwhile, someone less capable, with a deeper network skips the queue. It's a bitter pill, but it's the truth. This is social capital. The currency of relationships. The more social capital you have, the easier your life becomes. In the words of Robert Greene, this is the most durable form of power, because it lives in people's minds and hearts, not in documents. Take an example. Jimmy Iovine, the man has the ultimate network in the industry. Think about how many records he's produced. Some were hits, some were misses. But his real power isn't in the music. His real power is that he knows everyone, and everyone knows him. He's close with Dr. Dre. He had a direct line to Steve Jobs. He's the one who launched the biggest stars. This secret. Your degree might get you in the building, but your network gets you the keys to the vault. In exchange, their parents remain indebted to him. He throws parties where the biggest names show up. Being on his show means you've officially made it in the industry. Now think if his studio shuts down tomorrow. Is he finished? No. Because his power isn't in the studio. His power is in the hundreds of relationships he has built over decades. He makes one phone call, and it's done. That is the power of a network. Now look at politics. In every government, every state, every city, there are people no one knows. They aren't on TV. They aren't in the news. They hold no official title or party position. But when a major decision is made, their advice is taken. When a massive dispute breaks out, they are the ones who mediate. In the US, these people are called the fixers or lobbyists. Every administration talks to them. Republicans come to power there, still working. Democrats take over there, still there. It doesn't matter who wins the election. These people remain. Why? Because their roots are everywhere. They know exactly how to get things done. They know which bureaucrat is right for which job. They know which politician will move on which issue. They know who needs what and how to sway them. Governments change. Ministers change. Officials change. But the fixers never change. Their power isn't in an office. It's in their connections. Now, look around you. In your neighborhood or your town, there's always that one guy everyone knows. Is he not a big shot? He's not a politician or a CEO, but he has guys everywhere. If there's a billing error at the utility company, he knows someone in the office. If a kid can't get into a specific school, he knows the principal. If someone gets into legal trouble, he's an old friend of the local precinct captain. This man doesn't have a throne, but he has more power than the people who do. He has no throne, no title, and no official job, but his work never stops. Why? Because he spent his entire life building relationships. He helped people, he connected people, and now those connections are paying him back. Think about how these relationships are built. It doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a month. It takes years. Every time you help someone, you add a thread to the web. Every time you keep your word, that thread gets stronger. Every time you keep a secret, the trust goes deeper. One day, you'll look up and you have hundreds of these threads, hundreds of relationships. At that point, you don't need a fancy office. One phone call from you is enough. But remember, the power of relationships isn't free. You have to pay the price, and that price is time. Building a network takes time. You have to show up. You have to talk. You have to remember things. You have to know who's having a birthday, what's going on in their family, and what problems they are facing. You have to make the calls. You have to meet for coffee. You have to show up to weddings and funerals. It's a lot of work. It's a grind. But this grind is exactly what builds the network. This is level 3, Relational Power. It is stronger than level 2 Position Power because it stays with you even after you lose your job. However, there is still a weakness. To keep this power, you have to stay active. You have to stay present. If you disappear, people eventually forget you. So the question is there a power that works even when you aren't there? A power that works while you're sleeping, while you're away, or even after you're gone. That brings us to the 4th level. The 4th level of power is structural power. The power of the system. This level is a bit different. In the first 3 levels, you saw that power was always in someone's hands. In the first level, it was in your hands. In the second, it was with the person in charge. In the third, it was within the web of connections. But the power of the 4th level belongs to no one. This power is in the air, in the rules, in the structure, and in the system itself. Listen closely. The power of the system means you don't need to do anything. The system works for you. The rules are designed so that your success happens automatically. You win while you sleep. You win while you're awake. Even if you're gone, that system keeps working for your children. Don't get it? Let's look at an example. Take a city in India called Kota. It used to be nothing special. Now, it's the global capital for elite engineering and medical prep schools. How? In the 90s, a few people started coaching centers, companies like Allen and Resonance. In the beginning, they were just schools. They just taught kids. But slowly, they built an entire structure. First, they gave scholarships to the top student. They taught brilliant, underprivileged kids for free. When those kids topped the elite entrance exams for Ivy League-level colleges, their names made the news, and the coaching centers became famous. Then, more kids started coming. Then they built dorms and hostels on their own land. Students lived, ate, and studied, all in one place. Now the student didn't have to think about anything else. But here's the real game. First, they created the narrative that without this specific system, getting into a top-tier university was impossible.